get lit with you guys on the street. And by lit, I mean draw, and drink energizing beverages. Sometimes drink water. Yeah. And eat crazy things like rice, plain white rice. Let's see. So does anyone else wear contacts? Like I know they're popular enough to be a thing, but I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where you don't necessarily know who isn't wearing contacts. Well, I mean, obviously, if you're actively wearing glasses, you're not wearing contacts because that would be silly. I prefer wearing contact lenses. It's like you get over the whole poking yourself in the eye pretty quickly. The only thing is like keeping up with good habits. You know, like not falling asleep with them in. Taking them out before you go to sleep, and making sure that they're in some kind of solution, so they don't dry out. And they last longer and longer than they would if you hadn't done those things. So yeah. I like the freedom that they give me. The only thing is it can be pretty uncomfortable if anything gets in your eye, or your eye gets irritated, and then the blood vessels swell up. And then every time you shift your eyes, or you blink, the lens will hit up against those blood vessels and irritate them further, causing more inflammation. And well, you get the idea. Or if you are in a windy area, or a place where it's really hot and dry. And then your contact lenses will dry out on your eyes. Or if you're sitting in front of the computer all day. Trust me, I've done this a lot. And they'll dry out because you don't blink as much. And that can be frustrating. Because then every time you blink, they'll just like pop off your eyes and slide around a little bit. They'll go on a little trip. Something else that's really tricky about drawing dots. Trying to keep them consistently the same shape. So going up and down on the paper is oddly not the easiest way to get results for me. Probably because I tend to slide the pen around still. So I was talking with a friend earlier, and my thing is like I don't have an issue with copying people really. Well, I do. I do have an issue. I have a really big issue with it. And I don't like coming off as copycat. And I was thinking, I'm always looking for ways to supplement my income somehow. Some way to have more financial independence. Now, I know that I'm not a salesman. I can't convince anyone of anything. I can make people feel hungry. That's pretty much it. I can't make people want to buy anything. I found this out the hard way. Anyway, I digress. I thought about why not create a coloring book. But the only reason I thought of the coloring book idea is because a friend of mine is already making a comic book. I figured, hey, I can draw. I'm pretty decent with a pen. My contour lines are pretty okay. This would be a good way to make some quick money. Continually. It's not like I would expect to make like a lot of money off of it, but basically, I would make something off of it. Like a couple cents here, a couple cents there. It all adds up eventually. Sooner than you think. Right? Like imagine if we had picked up every single penny that we've ever come across and kept it. We'd eventually have a lot more money than if we hadn't done that. And that's partially because, pennies are fairly common in the United States. But anyway, point is, 1 cent here, 1 cent there will quickly add up, and before you know it, you have like $5 worth of pennies, or like up to $20 even, possibly, maybe. And $20, that's almost a full tank of gas, depending on where you live. Or, that's a meal. So that's something, it's something. So, my friend told me, I could always just rationalize it as, my other friend inspired me to do a coloring book. And I suppose that's okay. But then, he also suggested that I do a comic book. It got me thinking, that's a lot of work. And I'm inherently lazy, so I would have to find people to work with. And my luck in the past has been pretty awful about that. I would find people that want to do a comic book, but then, they drag their feet. And I guess, sometimes the issue would be, it's not their dream, their goal. So why would they be, burning to accomplish it? It wouldn't hurt them one way or the other. Before, they weren't doing anything, and then they still weren't doing anything. So it's like nothing really changes for them. They're not trying. If you hadn't offered them that opportunity, they'd still be just as content, I guess. But sometimes, it'll be their dream. And this is what really frustrates me, is when it's someone else's dream and then I try to help them achieve it. I talked about this last time. And then they're still dragging their feet. It's like, this is what you wanted and I'm helping you. But anyway. So I might give a go and give the whole comic book thing a go. I kind of know the process already, just because it was something that I was very interested in before. So, and I found someone to be my colorist, because while I can paint and stuff, it's not my forte at all. It is not my strong suit. You know, you'll never see something by me and say, well, you'll never see something done on the computer and be like, oh, this was done by Gaphiel. That guy's amazing. Look at those colors. Look at those transitions. Look at that blending. Look at that. His palette choice. My goodness. That guy's amazing. You would never say that. You would say something more like, wow, those lines are pretty whimsical. Like the way he just thought to like throw this there. The way he represents this, the way he drew this is just amazing. You might say that. Or you might read something by me and be like, wow, it's really deep, and it really made me think and feel and such. You know, it really got my gears turning, made me think about things in a new light. You might say that about things that I've written, but you would never say, wow, that was great coloring there. No. So, but my friend is really decent at coloring things. She's a decent artist. It's not something that she actively pursues. She's actually more about cooking, which is cool. I've had her cooking. It's really nice. And if you want something baked and you live near me, just let me know. I'll put you in contact with her. But yeah. So I have a colorist, and I need to figure out how I'm going to have the storyboarding done, and you know, the scripting and lettering, and have an editor and someone to do inking. I mean, I could always do some or the rest of it by myself, but again, that's a lot of work. I have a lot of things on my plate as it is. I'm not trying to make excuses, but you know, it's not my job, and I have others that depend on me. So, but I found a colorist, and I think I do want to move forward with this idea for a comic book. And it'll be based off of the character that I've had my headcanon, if you will. My OC. And I'll have to plan out like the first chapter or so, at least for scripting purposes, and sit down and write it out, brainstorm some ideas about how I want things to flow. Because the thing about making a comic book is considering how many pages it will be. And on average, they're about 22 pages. You know, or even if it's like just a one large tome, each chapter is about 20 pages or so. So it's like, how would I stretch out this story or condense it as necessary and still keep people interested? So, you know, how would I do that? So that's something I have to consider. And then there's the style of layout. And something that really interested in me was
a long time ago. I think I want to say I was still in high school.